after the live. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to watch the content. 14 people in here already. Wow, thank you all so much. Please make sure to hit that like button. Share this on social media. I really appreciate that if you would. And yeah, 14 waiting and 14 likes. A fantastic job, Al Jeffrey. That's what I like to see. So thank you everybody who's watching. We're going to get into this pretty quickly here because not only do I want to do XRP, we're going to fly through the midday market report as well. During some point of this, we'll bounce in and out of crypto and go over some of the stuff going into the Dow, the DXY, the 10-year and the metals markets. But I found it imperative today to not just do the midday market report, but to do XRP, talk about what's going on in the market cap because it's moving in a direction that is very beneficial for us right now. And we've broken over a key support resistance level here. Al Jeffrey, welcome in. Matt, Mark, Messi, good afternoon. Axis, yes, it is the sign of the times. It is indeed. Miss Vicky, good morning to you, love and welcome, and I'm glad to see you in here as well. UK Phil, welcome in. Trading with J-Rod, yes, hit that like button, everybody. Please. The Gatman, good afternoon. Love that 1 year badge. Brandon, bullish, yes, it's looking pretty bullish here. Mr. Mac here with the 2 year badge. Miss Vicky, welcome in. I think I already said that. But still, I appreciate you being here. Tanya, welcome in. Love with that 1 year plus badge right there as well. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I know we're going to have a really fun, exciting, and inspiring live today because XRP is moving unlike the past few days when it was a little bit, But Dalton, welcome in. I appreciate you saying Tom is the GOAT fire. I see we have a $10 donation already. Wow. We have not had many donations the last few days, but it's expected. XRP's been moving down. The mindset's been off. So Brandon, thank you so much for that $10 donation. That's incredibly generous of you. Mark, Jorge, Michael, welcome in. We got a lot of people here already today. So I'm going to timestamp this in a minute. But first I need to get on my phone so that I can see if there was anything attached to that donation, because I feel like I wouldn't be doing my proper due diligence if I'm not going to properly respond if somebody sends a donation. So let me get into my chat. So let's see what Brody said. So Brody, I appreciate that greatly, Brody. I really appreciate that $10 donation. And then let's see who else I missed. Kryptonian, welcome in. Randall, I appreciate you saying I'm the best. I'm amazed at how spot on you are and how good you are at TA. Thank you, Randall. I really appreciate that. That comes from being able to teach myself and not having any influence. Mark, welcome in from the UK. Canoe, welcome in. Yes, indeed, Tanya. And we'll get to H-bar soon, Tanya, so just stick around. David, welcome in from South Carolina. Terry, good afternoon, love. I'm glad to see you in here as well. Messi, thank you for saying I'm the man. I appreciate that, and phone's gone. Sully says hi, Tom, and Rob says good morning to everybody. Welcome in to both of you. CJ2 Pilot, good afternoon. Miss Vicky says, yes, Randall, no one is anywhere near Tom's level. Hey, I appreciate that, but most of the reasoning is this simple. I don't have any paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships, so I have nobody tugging me in a direction. I can just be honest. So good early afternoon. 1:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, December 8th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. The one thing I'm proudest of, be honest with everybody in the community, the fact that I kept it free for all. Sure, people send donations or join Tom's Army for $9.99 to pay it forward, but that's legitimately for work done. But it doesn't add any benefit to what I'm going to give you. That's just a good way to show support. I'm very happy at the fact that so many people followed along on Winning Wednesdays and FOMO Fridays. I know personally, my total portfolio was worth about $6,750. It's up over $14,000 today. So, we're still in a bear market. Our alts are very much in a bear market. But I was trying to teach everybody when we sold out in 21 that not just the patience, but the understanding of when to buy things back. When you buy things back and you understand you don't need to buy them 100% at a time, you can buy over time if you're in that part of a market. If you're in a bear cycle, you can accumulate week by week. We did it for several different ones. It took us over 3 months, of roughly 2.5 to 3 months per token. But we're right where we want to be. XRP, exception to the rule because I bought 10,000 right away when it hit a price that I wanted at 346. And the rest is history with what we did with the alts as well. So other than that, The Golden Cross 4 days is done. That's good news. That is all. Yes, that is very good news. I don't typically look at the 4-day chart. I would rather see the weekly. And I understand the 4-day chart is going to show Golden Crosses as long as this weekly stays intact. The 4-day Golden Cross is important in this 4-day stretch because it's flipping that short-term bearish trend. And it's also being accompanied by a break and breach of the resistance on the rising channel. The fact that we came through here, established 75 cents, came back through, now we pulled back up. We were just looking for a close today over 65 cents. We talked about it yesterday on the daily. Wow, that is a very generous donation. Like I always say, some days I don't get many donations, but other days it brings it back full circle. You know, it's been, what, 3-4 days since I had any. I've had a few donations, but any that were like, holy crap. I mean, that's cumulatively, that's about as much donation with this $50 one that I got the last couple days. So, I mean, you see how people do it. So when I say pay it forward, sometimes it just comes in likes, sometimes it comes in shares, but it brings more people to the community. And then you get somebody like Al Jeffy who sends $50 today and says, my Michigan neighbor XRP Moon. Yes, indeed, Al Jeffy, and we're waiting for that college football playoff here in the great state of Michigan, as you know, to try to go play for our first national championship since '97. So let's see what happens. Miss Vicky was talking to Tanya. Tom, welcome in. Dalton, 67 indeed. And again, if we come down for a little correction here to end this day, that's a beautiful inverted hammer, just like yesterday. And I said, you can speculate. It's not 3 times the size, but, you know, sometimes they tell you it's got to be 2 to 3 times the size just for that. To me, that's an inverted hammer. I don't care what anybody says. Sure, if it pulled down to here, it might look better. But even here, that's a lot of pressure. You're showing all top wicks. There's nothing coming from the bottom. And it just continued to push up. Pushed out of a very strong resistance from June of 2022. I mean, this is exactly what, if I had to tell you what we wanted today, exactly what we wanted. Would I be all for a retracement back to 65 cents? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because then you, maybe 65.20, give us some room. But I want that inverted hammer candle to pull down and build this pressure. So basically, why I say that, and some people are like, you're such an asshole, Tom. You can't even just let it go up without blah, blah, blah. No. I want this to continue going on. I don't want it to just stop after this little move. So basically what I'm saying is this candle, you had a candle movement of 6.2%. A 50% retracement here to that 654 level roughly for a 3.32% gain on the day. But a comeback down of about 45-50% would be beautiful, because now you've established that liquidity for another bounce up to 75. So that's why I always say this. $1 by Christmas, Mark, that could be ambitious. But what I've been saying all along is I believe what's on the table for Christmas time. Remember we talked on the XRP market cap? Once we established 33.15 billion, it was just going to fly. Then we got on top of 35, and now we're trying to hold that for the close. I mean, we literally skipped 2 billion once we held 33.15. That's what I was talking about. It's a quick move up, and once you clear 35 and hold it, now it's another 3.9 billion to the, 4 billion to the top side. So if you don't think that can get us to 85 cents or 75 cents, I think we're not on the right page. And then if we look at XRP, what I'm looking at for year of end, and then I'm going to strategically fit in some of this midday market report and fly through some of it. 100 people in here, no kidding. Wow. Thank you all for that tremendous support. Please make sure to hit the like button. Only 64 likes. I can't really be hard on everybody because a couple people sent generous donations. But if you don't want to hit that like button or share this on social media, you can always send me a YouTube super chat or do the diligent thing and join Tom's Army. Pay it forward. I don't do any paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind because I don't want to be influenced on what I do. I've been offered very lucrative deals to do what everybody else on YouTube does, but I simply don't want to do it. I believe in time with my own investments since 2017, understanding how to become my own central bank. And before we get into that, this is where I'm anticipating year of end to try to have a rally up to here. My birthday is December 17th, but this is lined up for Christmas time rally. So speaking of our own central banks, let's reverse and we'll get right back to XRP. We need to talk about XLM. We need to get into Bitcoin. We need to look at XDC and what's about to happen there as well. But for me, I'm very confident in the fact that I'm going to reimburse myself on all these fluky deals that I could have taken to rip my own audience off. Like I say, for someone to gain wealth, somebody else has to lose it, and I'd prefer it not to be the audience. But we'll go back into XRP very quickly, but the Dow's up 84.50, and I want everybody to understand how risk on are starting to move and why and what's about to happen. The Dow right now, all we're trying to do is hold 36,134, try to continue this bullish outbreak and push it up towards that 37,000. If we get on top of 37,000, that should cement the move to 39,815. And then if we want to finish this off with a continuation, you get on top of that, you technically could hit 42, but I'd be targeting around 40,000 if it can hold this broadening wedge. Oh, he sure is, Tanya. He sure is. He sure is. Well, Tanya, I think that's a bit unfair, but you know, sometimes I have my moments. Bob, we don't have time for you. This is a very exclusive update, and you're excluded, sir. DXY is at 104, up 36.4 cents or 0.35% to 104. We're retesting, as we've talked about. We're trying to see if, in fact, this is a resistance at 104 spot 21 on the 200-day on a death cross here. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody what we're doing. And we're going to see just how much manipulation there is in the market. If somehow they push this back up, well, all I can say is it's a big rig in the government, and you can't really 100% say how quickly it's going to go, but in time, we're coming down, and this looks like they could have put an inversion here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If this comes up, you very well could see a move up to about 105 spot 64, but we'll see what happens here. I wouldn't put it past them to get rejected here right at about 104 spot 32 and just bring it down the house. But they have all the magic right now. They are the buyer and sellers of last resort, and what that means is they can do whatever the hell they want. So let's just see how it affects risk on, but I think the gold and silver markets are telling us a lot about what's happening right now. US 10 years up about 2.07% or 9 basis points, 4.24%. This is the same thing. The government stopped buying into these bonds. They're allowing it to start pushing back up. And I think this is another indictment that we're coming back up prior to that 4.35% we talked about, and see if we're going to stop there and then the continuation happens. Crude oil is right exactly where we anticipated for the last 6 months, because they talked about the $70 a year event, but now we're talking about a farther drop. I'm talking about the fact that it formed this formation that we might end up at 65 bucks here before we start the big reversal. It obviously can come up and retest this area around 70 bucks real quickly, or 72 bucks real quickly, but right now I wouldn't expect much of a move out of there, seeing that that's their foregone determination of what they wanted. Gold silver ratio continues to push about this 90 to 188 or 89 to 1 area. It seems all but certain it's going to happen. And that might be because gold's falling silver's falling faster than gold. In this case, that's why. Or gold is going up faster. Right now, the fact is silver's getting hammered. Down 3.23% today, or 77 cents. We've got gold down 1.38%. So it's a 3-time move here. And it came all the way back through. Unfortunately, we didn't hold that level. Now, we might have to come down here where we talked about for out into February, maybe. Maybe it rides out. But we need to see exactly how the structure goes. Nothing's been lost here. Now it just needs to bounce on the 2270 and see if we can work out this pattern. Otherwise, if you come down another level, it failed the overextension. And this could be a sign of what's happening in the DXY. So if you're looking to buy silver and gold, you're going to get another opportunity. You are getting one in silver right now with the ratio going crazy back up. Gold still retesting the breakout. We're still right at that. We talked. You have to retest 2,000, which a break of 2,000 was right around 1990 area. So, I mean, it did exactly what it would do if it's going to hold, or even if it's going to break down. But we want to see if gold does use this as support, and if it does, you can expect a bounce over 2144 or 2140. It's about, the technical bounce up would be around 2178, but fair enough that you could say it's that double top. But that's the technical move if it does break up. $5 donation, and I don't know what the message says, and I don't even know who it's from now. Thank you for sending your first donation, but that person obviously didn't want me to know who they were. So I appreciate that donation, even if it was secretive. Yes, make sure to hit that like button. We'll take a look at Algo, Messi. Yeah, and we bought Algo. Let me just finish this last thing, because we're almost done with the midday market report. Last thing here at B2 Gold. Remember, if you bought B2 Gold and you were like, I don't want to hold it through a loss, $2.96 is your spot. Even $3, if you believe if it comes through 3 you want to sell, you're still in the profit. So that's what you would have to do, because if it cycles down, we'll come back down to 240. So I have a very key decision to make around that $3 level. I'll let everybody know what I believe, but until it breaks this structure, I'm not going to sell it just yet. But I would like to buy it back at 240 instead of 298 if I get the chance. So we'll see what happens here. I'm begging it to go to 2. Everybody knows I'm begging it to go to 240. You can get it at 240, oh boy. And you might be able to get it cheaper if it breaks down this next layer. We might even get it at 218. Oh man, that's like a pipe dream. So I'll let everybody know in the days to come. And now let's hit algo on the way back down. Algo's up another 9.07% to 1791. How many of you bought this with me on winning Wednesdays and FOMO Fridays? We bought the rotation where I circled and I said I wanted it 10 cents or lower, and I refused to buy it once it broke this falling channel, because I talked about how it would have a volatile move and it could quickly get up to 28 cents. And I think a lot of people laugh like they always do at me, but that's okay. I was very early on the rotation this time, and I understood that we were about to pump up massively in most of these crypto, well, in all coins. So we bought it at about a 10 cent average, we'll say. Some was down as low as 8.5, some was as high as 10.5. But I like to say our average was 10 cents, even though I think it was a little bit lower than that, just because I know I'm in the right spot. Even if it's 9.7, 10 cents just sounds better. So RPS said he bought it during the FOMO Fridays. Excellent. And right now, if you bought it, and we'll measure it at 10 cents, even though I know it was lower. Here, 10.07. So at 10.07, what is it at right now? We'll measure it at 16.65. Oh my God, it's at 17.87. Oh my God, it's exploding. So right now, our algo, we're up better than 70%. Let's just put it that way. We bought 7,800 tokens together. We're up 70+% on algo. So it's been a fantastic move here. We bought it in the rotation for a reason, and we bought the nuts. I don't know how else to explain it. We bought the nuts. And this rotation, if it bounces back up, your next pure resistance, we could get stopped up here. And then up here would be around that 30 cent mark. I mean, that's what you're looking for algo. I'm going to go grab my winter jacket because it's a little chilly out here now. Holy smokes. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, everybody. When I went to the gym, it's starting to cool down now here in the last couple hours. Bitcoin right now, and then we'll get back to XRP. As we know, it's up 3.4% or 1.1 billion in the market cap, which is a fantastic sign today. Bitcoin is still consolidating. We're trying to bounce off this 42,663 at worst, and that's exactly where yesterday's daily bounced. Nice inverted hammer forming right now in Bitcoin. If we take this structure properly, we've got a pivot point at 47,000, which is about, give or take, what are we at right now? We got about 4,200 point move up here to the next resistance. And then the technical breakout, the target is not even close to being done. The technical target is still 52,220 or 277 after breaking out of that massive broadening wedge. So that's something to consider here, that if you think altcoins, they've done anything yet, they've done nothing. They've done nothing in regards to a move like this. And we'll see if the Bitcoin dominance has one more layer up, or even if it comes down to like 52.4 and allows alts to pump. You have the dump right now. We talked about it yesterday, the reversal candle in the daily. And that was a good sign for alts to start moving. So, oh, we're absolutely going to see XLM, XDC, and also HBAR in this update as well. This is a very jam-packed update. It's on days like today. If you've ever wanted to show your support by joining Tom's Army, I'd be very appreciative. Or by the ones who always ask questions, if you want to, send a little YouTube super chat, or make sure you hit that like button or share this on social media. Hell, You can even send a Cash App donation if you don't want to use YouTube at, well, I don't even know what it is, Tom Jr. 222. That's not necessary. I really need those likes and I need the shares. Today we're doing fantastic on the likes, and I'm assuming the shares as well, because that helps us reach a wider audience. XLM is at 13.12, up 3.96%. We've talked exclusively here about if we bounce off of this right here where we have the pivot point on this pattern formation at 12 cents, the technical breakup's 15.1, and you need confirmation by breaking over and holding this 12.75. Right now, it looks like we're going for our confirmation, and we might have a major rally here. I mean, just talk about it. If we get confirmation, let's just say we're at 13. I mean, you're talking about another 17%, which is already on top of 20. So that's about a 25% move here. The reason why it's a major move, if you get on top of that, there is literally not much in between those next targets up. You could wick it out above us and say, oh, 17 cents is over the top, which that's fine. That's fair. But you've got a massive, massive possibility here that could be happening. And yeah, it's getting sloppy on here, but there's no reason for me to change these. The only thing that we can do, and someone will be like, you son of a bitch, you said it was bullish and now you're going to show the bearish still? You son of... Well, because, let's see that wick? Now you can use the pattern. There you go. Now you can see what the pattern was meant to do. So now if it gets rejected there, well, you know, maybe it's still a little bearish. But won't you want to know exactly what needs to happen? So that widened the pattern here for the breakout. But once you confirm that breakout, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump up to about 15.1. But that's how you evolve the pattern so that you can actually see it and not be victimized by a pattern. It's that simple. I waited for it to evolve just so I could see where that wick would go up once it made this break. But this is what it's given us right now. It's clearly giving us that. It's back down to 13.13. So it's clearly giving us that wick for a reason. It's telling us this is the make it or break it line right here. If we can get back above here on tomorrow's daily and hold it as support, look out. Look out, 15 cents and above is on the table. XDC is up 1.51%, or 1.5%, just over 5.1. For anybody who doesn't know, with XLM, we bought the same amount of tokens as XRP and XDC. XLM we bought at around the 0.085 level. XDC we bought at 0.028. So, I mean, we're in fantastic spots for all of these. I'm not one to make a prediction for when $1. I think it's just foolish to ask me when $1 is going to happen. $1 is going to happen when it's going to happen. And it doesn't matter what I say, do, or show. That's going to make it any different. So, for me, like I've been saying since day one, I couldn't give a rat's ass about $1. And everybody who keeps asking that is skipping a very, very critical resistance. How is everybody asking about $1? I'm just asking. How is everybody always asking me about $1, but nobody asked me about 85 cents? How can you get to $1 if we don't hit that, if you can't break out of a formation that started in January of 2018? Until somebody asks me that question, I won't even entertain the $1 answer. You can't get to $1 until this pattern breaks out. So I think the real question is when do you get to 85 cents? When do you get past 85 cents? If you get on top of this, $1 might just be in the rearview mirror. If you get on top of this, the technical move, after being stuck in a formation like this for 6 years in January, it's a move up over $2 in time if you stay on top of this pattern. The $1.13 is the more important level, not the dollar. The dollar is just a psychological level that most people that are technical traders live and die by that number. And I think that will put you in the loser mindset. You want to be a winner. The dollar mark doesn't matter. The $1.13 mark, if we get on top of 85 cents, is the winner's mark. That's where winners look. You know why? Because if it stays on top of that, you break out of a bear market cycle, and that could be your first glimpse back into a mini bull market rally. So, $1 will happen when 85 cents falls and holds. How about that? When 589, I mean, I'm not sure what's so funny. 58.9 cents is right around the corner. I mean, we just passed it. If you're making fun of people who said XRP is going to go to $5.89, I mean, we're not even in the same ballpark here. $5.89. Before you can even entertain that, when are we getting to all-time highs, my friend? So, you know, it's, I know you're just trying to take me off course here, but that's cool. So, right now, 85 cents should be in the, should be in the mark. But 2028, for anybody asking all the ridiculous questions about ridiculous pricing, first of all, when are we going to have a $5 trillion market cap for XRP if you're going to ask all those questions? Or a 500 billion at least, for your question in particular. When do you see XRP getting to a 500 billion market cap instead of a 35? Then you have your answer for the one. And for the rest, 2028. 2028, when everything has to flow through the ISO and not through the old SWIFT protocol. Don't be fooled though, SWIFT is still there with the SWIFT GPI. Everybody says SWIFT is going away, it's not. So anyhow, back to what I would like to talk about. If you have any other questions, feel free to send a donation, join Tom's Army, or share this or like it, Prosperity Fund. And I know you will. You'll share this and like this, hopefully. So, XDC, the one thing again, it's in a bull flag. See, it's technically in a bull flag, but did it disguise itself in a bear flag? And if it did disguise itself in a bear flag, it's not bad. It just comes and retests this area. Nothing wrong with the retest here if it came down to like 4.8, but we would like to know it if it's going to happen. So just pay attention to that. If it breaks up right away, you've got a clear move up. There's nothing blocking us. The only reason why I find it possible to have a retest is we've never retested this breakout yet. So it does make me a little like, okay, what's going on here with XDC? Why are we having another split candle here? Why are we having what looks like more of a reversal today? Or are these just Dragonfly and they're designed to look bearish because that volume's crashing? This volume's crashing. Oh no, Prosperity Fund, you're good. You're all good. It's not even directed at you with the dollar. Everybody always asks me about a dollar. I know I can piggyback off of you because you've been here a while, so you can take my little bit of sarcasm. Not everybody can, so I won't talk to everybody the same, but you at least have a good back and forth and you understand. Oh, I know you can. Trust me. Trust me, and you've given it out just as much as I've given it, so it's nice to understand some of the ones that I can kind of explain my position very strongly and not get offended. You know what I mean? After the two, see, now that's a good question. I won't break your balls on that one. I like that question. What's after $2? Because after $2, I've already got it marked out. $2.10. But if you get over $2.10, that, and only then, if you hold that technical move from where we're at now, if you can get over that, you're technically going to try to run up to all-time highs. If you can get on top of that $2.10, $2 level, you would have a very quick resistance, about 11 cents up. If you can break that $1.98 resistance from 2021, obviously a $2 psychological level, but I don't think the ones who bought at $3.50, 60 cents at all-time highs really care about $2. So I keep saying, once we get to $3, I could see a massive 50% cut. You're going to have a massive amount of liquidity that's going to dump out of XRP. Tanya, are you still here, love? Wow, 115, now 121 likes. It is very, yep, it is very low. That's why that $2.10 area, once you break that, there's not, I mean, there's a pretty clear gap in between if you gap up. Because there's a lot of people holding at 350 that would love to get their money back. We'll continue looking at XRP. But we've got so many we bought. Everything we've bought on this list. The only thing I was not able to buy because of my region is friggin' IOTA. And it's ridiculous. But we're H-bar. H-bar is up 3.17%. Yes, Dalton, thank you so much, and no problem, no problem. Get back to work, and I hope you have a blessed afternoon. What is the like recorded on this channel? What do you mean? The like, what is it? It's liking the live stream right now. It's liking the live stream. And the likes right now say 126. What's up with these Solana chain coins? Stay calm. That's a good question. Solana's having a nice little rally. It's around $70 right now from what I seen last. But I don't know. It makes me nervous with Solana because they have a lot of network errors. And it ends up causing a bunch of the whales to sell and cause 90% drops all the time. So it's kind of hard. I will say yes and no, Prosperity Fund. Just remember, XLM, I don't care what anybody says, we'll get the same clarity as XRP when it happens. I still think that's a 1A, 1B with XRP, XLM, and it was a mutual separation that was beneficial for the company only for the fact that they were able to expand into something called XLM for retail investors while they're all still on the same team. And by saying that it was a severance package, that was the crowdfunding they needed for XLM monthly to just sell XRP. Does it look better like that, or for them to say they created a subdivision in XLM and now they're selling XRP to fund XLM? It would have looked terrible. So that's what I think they're doing there. April, early to mid-April, or about mid-April is the next court date. So H-bar, and there's Tanya. I'm glad you're still here, love. Tanya, remember, we talked about the move up, got the retracement perfectly back down, came up, now we're consolidating. If we get this bounce, we're getting it right now off of about the 6-7 mark. The next move up, and we talked about it, there's not much else in between until 8-3. At some point, this is going to have to come back to the top of the rising channel. Prosperity Fund, we will talk about that in just a second, where XRP needs to hold. And Tanya, this is forming what looks like could be a massive W in the making here. If it's legal where you're at, cannabis, make sure you hit that now because we're relaxing. Yeah, there are some ways for me to buy IOTA, but unfortunately, it's in the less than savory ways than where I live in the state of Michigan. So I wish I would have went those routes, but I did not. That's the problem. It's just where I can buy it, I just don't trust those platforms. So it's a personal preference issue. It's on me though. I could have very easily took out a 2x futures trade and wrote it up as well for a smaller amount or 3, but whatever. I went the route where I know how I can handle my tokens. So do I regret it? No, I don't regret it. But I would have really liked to have bought it when it was around like $1,000 for 10,000 tokens. Anyhow, H-bar, that's what we're looking at for the breakout. And if we can get this nice bounce, your next bounce is up here, and you'll be messing with that area. So that's what we're looking at. We're within, this is the second of 3 steps, Tanya. We've made it out of the risky area. Step 1 was to hit up here. Step 2, step 3 is to finish this move and get up to step 4. And we've already come down and consolidated, so don't think it has to push out like that. We could put it, whoops. It already has happened here. It happened quicker. It went up, came down, and now it's trying to bounce off of it. So in this next daily, I do not have RNDR. I've heard a lot of questions asked about it here recently. Is it running up? Is that why everybody keeps asking about it just out of curiosity? Oh, yeah. Everybody's always much more interested to ask me questions about things once it's already moving up. I was just curious because everybody, at least in the last 4 or 5 live streams, I've had questions about this one. Hell, it could be the same person. I don't know. I just know it was enough to make an impression to where I seen it again today, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just see what the hell is going on. There. If you want to know what's going on with this, and you want to know what you have to do to break out, I'm not like most people that chart. I want to know every level. So I need to know what's going on. So I take the wicks and I take them proportionately in the dailies. So it looks great. It looks like a massive breakout, but I can tell you we got one level to break out still, right here. So that's like your 3-tier setup. That's what I call it, especially because I haven't been watching this one. So now I need to, some of them, if I've been watching, I'll skip out on some of the tiers, but I need to know exactly how this is set up. If you break out of this 3rd tier, then we can finish breaking out. Man, that's a nice move even farther over the top to $5.49. So, I mean, this is what you're looking at. You very well could fall within an uptrending formation. But that's what you're looking at. You've already broke out of tier 1 and 2. I mean, you're basically trying to signal this breakout, a confirmation. So, the breakout, if this breaks out, you'd be targeting up here. First layer would be about $5.50. Second layer, you would try to reestablish this whole cup and handle and try to come all the way to the top. The only thing after that, then you could try to attempt to go back into the higher highs, but you've got to get past those 2 tiers first. So a breakout in this sense for RNDR, if it breaks out, you're looking at a minimum move Man, that's a pretty nice move of about 32%, upwards of 60% if it takes the full course. So you're looking anywhere between a 32 and 60% move if it confirms $4.18 roughly. That's pretty impressive. So getting back to what we were doing. Oh, shit, I should have put that on here. I didn't even know which chart I had. Oh, it was Coinbase. I mean, Binance. Here, I'll put this on here just for, so we can see how this exactly plays out. I think it'll keep my, yep. I want to see how this plays out. I want to see how this plays out. No problem. And that's why when everybody asks me, they're like, are you really going to do a chart if I ask you on the spot? It's like, I know nobody else does, but it doesn't, I can do it with you watching, and I prefer to do it with everybody watching. And that used to be my biggest criticism. People would say, you're always changing the charts when we watch. Would you prefer me to do it so you can't see it? Or would you like to learn? I prefer to teach. ZIL, we already know. ZIL is just a matter of time. It's behind V-Chain and bouncing out, and it's coming up to this level. 55% chance when it was down here that it would make a break all the way up. Right now, I would say that that's increased from 55 a solid to 65 now. So you've solidly increased that from a 55% chance to a 65 by getting now on top of this and confirming that breakout. The only thing is you still got to break one key level, and I haven't talked about it yet, and I don't want to talk about it. Because it's won in the past twice that kind of left us with a bad taste in our mouth with ZIL. It's right here. It's right here. But it's not until you get to the top, so there's no reason to talk about it. But that, if you ever wanted to talk about an X marks the spot scenario, that's the ultimate one. And the reason for that is because if this doesn't break out, and like I said, I don't want to talk about it, but I will. If it doesn't break out, you could very well be left with a pattern like that. And what just happened? Yeah, you guessed it. We went into some kind of a channel here. So I'm going to take this out because now we can use the evidence instead of just guessing. And that's exactly where we might go for the resistance. See what happened there? See how we learned together? So now there's a 65% chance that it'll likely, if it comes up there, get rejected at that level. This is what's actually happening here. I'm building you in terminology, so hopefully you can understand down the road when this happens again, when I start charting. So now if it comes up here, the chances are we get rejected at first. And we might have to consolidate down to a golden cross or whatever. And then we'll see from there. So that's that. And the ones who stick around, I told everybody, today's a good day. Notice how the numbers went from 115, 120 down to 92. Because most people only care about XRP, and it's unbelievable. Because why would it only be about XRP if you can build an entire portfolio that's going to make you wealthy beyond your wildest? I'm XRP future millionaire for a reason. If it wasn't for XRP, none of this is possible. Remember, this all started for me in 2021 when I turned a simple $3,500 gain or investment in XRP at 47 cents. And just a very small in other cryptos. And it netted me, over $12,000 in profit, but over $15,500 was in my portfolio. So I kept, and I've put in $6,500 this time around in crypto. I've also put, out of those profits, I had over $10,000 that went towards precious metals. I made some money between and was able to put into some altcoins, as some of you know. But now that portfolio is over 14,000. We're still in a bear market. If we are anywhere near $1.98 for XRP, instead of having a $15,000 portfolio at the end of this, I don't know where it's going to end up. That's the scary part, because I don't know where some of these are going to go. It could be we don't know. It could be a six-figure portfolio. It could be 50,000. It's definitely going to be up there. Just on XRP alone, if it goes back to where it was at, I would be over 22,000 on XRP alone this time around. Just because I added more this time around for less. Like, that's the beauty of it. I paid less this time around for more. So, CA, thank you so much for the $20 donation. That is unbelievably generous. NVIDIA? Are you talking about NVIDIA? But that's what I'm looking at. Where do you think the 10-year bond goes from here after today's news unemployment? That's a tough question. Because everything in my gut tells me that we still need to come down in time. And we need to finish playing this structure out. But I think because of the news today, we'll have an immediate bounce back to like that 4.35%. That's why we're seeing an increase in 8 basis points today. And then with the DXY, because of the news today, We're going to flirt with trying to get above that 105 spot 25, it looks like. We put in a bullish consolidation candle today. It's just we didn't break anything in the 4-hourly. We're still well below the 200. I could see them, though, reversing this back up a little bit here on the news. Maybe this is how it comes up. But does that mean crypto is going to fall with it? No, the one thing that'll tell you is the precious metals, what's going on. And they're telling us in a big way. Big story here today being told. Yes, we're retesting the 2,000 level. And that's exactly what I said. Once it went up to 2140, I'll see you down at 2,000. I know a lot of you remember if you're watching the Midday Market Report. You have to do it. There's no way around it. It's just like with crypto. You have to retest each shot. You're welcome. I still see in time 3.9% before ultimately. I think we're going to get back into double digits in time. I really do. That's why everybody keeps telling you to lock in the rates for the 10-year at 5.25. I don't understand why you would do that if you think it's going in double digits. I do the 3 or 6 month. If you want to do a 6 month, I won't kill you. But I mean, anything outside of a year, I'm going to kill you. Not in the figurative term, but like in a portfolio sense, it will kill you. Because your money's being devalued in that same year over year, 10-year over 10-year span. V-Chain, we just seen ZIL. These are my favorite kind of updates because you guys can see what we've been talking about. Who's been here for the entirety of these moves? Honestly, has anybody been here for this entire year? Or even going back to 21 when I only had 1,000 people watching when we made all these impressive moves. 1 to 1,000. Because I started in March of 21, but I've never missed a day. That's the most impressive thing, I think. But we've talked about all these cycles. Remember when V-Chain broke this, we were waiting for this, and now the technical move is all the way up here to 3 cents. We bought V-Chain down at 1.5, 1.6. No, V-Chain was 1. Yeah, V-Chain was 1.5. ZIL was, I believe, the 1.6. And at the time, it's like, oh, he made good buys, but what if it goes lower? I told everybody, when we think about the terms of when it goes lower, you never succeed. You can't just be like, oh, if I buy, what if it goes lower? Then you buy more, 20% more. Every 20% it goes down. Just make sure you had a good first buy so that you don't have to buy 100% more. That's always been my logic. Once I figured that out in the stock market, it turned everything around overnight. And then I said the stock market sucks because it's not a 24/7 market, and I considered Forex. But then something called XRP came into my life in like 2019. I couldn't figure out a way to buy it because it kept getting, every time I tried to buy it in 2020, when I actually tried to pull the trigger, everything, as you know, went to hell. Early 21 is when I figured it out in February, and by the end of March, I started my channel because every single XRP YouTuber was full of shit. Every one of them. And I'm not afraid to say that. They all told me it was going to 4 digits. And they all look smart when it's going up. But when I seen on the charts what was actually happening, I'm like, what the hell are they, what? So then I had to start a channel. And I said in my very first video, that got over, 13,000 views now. And over 1,000 subscribers all on its own, that one video. Which helped me get to partner very quickly within a 3.5 week period. I said, they're going to have to deal with me because I'm going to be around here forever now. And they're just going to have to accept it. That's what I said, and you know what? Here we are, almost at 20,000. But anyhow, this resistance here on V-Chain, you're just waiting for this move to finish off at about 3 cents. It's a big move. Casper is up about 3.34%, and it's trying to bounce out of this descending triangle. This is a bull flag consolidation. If it breaks out, we put it down here just in case it took a little time, but we can move it up here if this is where the breakout. I just move this around. It gives us our technical targets. Let's say it breaks right here by December. Well, we'll just say right there just for purposes. This could break. The technical move out of here, if it broke in this area, would be around 5 cents and some change. Big move here. We bought on FOMO Fridays and Winning Wednesdays. On Casper, remember the rotation, we were only willing to buy it in this descending structure. Remember it was in the descending structure? We got about a 3.2, 3.4 average, somewhere around there. Now it's looking fantastic. All these are looking fantastic. They're all looking fantastic. I said something didn't feel right a few weeks ago when everything was looking bearish. I was putting in these lagging indicators, and I said everything's going up. It could go down, but I believe it's going up. And I said it just didn't feel right. Everybody's telling us it's going down. All these reasons. Michael Berry went short, and I told everybody he has a lot of stock long, so even that short helped his long. But he lost $1.4 billion. This happens for a reason. And for the record, everything I talk about, my goal is 10,000 tokens, minimum. I didn't get to it on Algo because it came out of the rotation. We had 7,800. I got that in Casper, H-Bar, Flare. And it's not about how much it costs. It's about owning those amount of tokens to me. 10,000 is the threshold. With XRP, XLM, XDC, 12,222. With VeChain and Zill, 22,222. With DGB, 72,222 at 0.005 and some change. Almost to 6 because I bought 10,000 more with somebody in the audience at 0.008 back in time. And I said, don't worry, this is still a good buy. You don't have to worry if you buy DGB 99% off from where I sold it the first time. Nice inverted hammer. It's just a matter of time till DGB gets on top of this and makes a run back up to that 107. I really believe that. We just need to get over that 8. It's a little bit lower than 8.9. It's like 8.88. You get over that, you break out of this rising channel, you got some big movement coming. What I'm saying, though, the reason why you pay attention to the rising channel, not necessarily because you're going to break down, it could have a volatile swing up, and then it comes crashing down like this just to finish the move. That's what I always watch out for. So just pay attention to things like that, and then it continues through the rising channel, comes down a little bit, retest the old support that used to be an old resistance pivot point, and then you're off to the races. I think that's where a lot of people get tied up when they're trading, in my opinion. Hell, we just went all the way around the world and back. What do we think? What did you guys think about crypto? What do you think about the midday market report? What did you think, if you're never part of the midday market report, about maybe tuning in for the midday market reports every now and then, when they're only a 15-minute update, when I'm just covering precious metals and the Dow and the 10-year, things you should know about so you can stay on top, the DXY, stay on top of when you should buy your stuff, stay on top of the markets. I love the midday market reports too. I do focus. I love them. I just seen a great comment about FOMO. I need to see who that was about Casper. Somebody bought their 10,000 Casper just because of FOMO Fridays. Percent Better said, I got 10,000 Casper because of FOMO Fridays. Excellent. And I know you're feeling good. You can elaborate. Was it around 3.35? Somewhere around 3.2 to 3.5, I believe we bought it. It had to have been somewhere around there. That's awesome, Percent Better. Thank you so much. No problem, O Johnson, and thank you. Oh, Gala as well. Gala as well. I always forget we bought Gala. We bought 10,000 plus tokens of Gala. You know why I forget? Because TradingView, these scumbags, they took my chart off and they took off our Gala. That's why I keep forgetting to talk about it. We bought Gala remember, we put this whole rotation out for everybody. And I said, you know what? It's time, everybody. Where did we buy it? 0, 0, or what was it? What was it? What was Gala at? 1, no, 0, 1, what the fuck was it? I'm going to take a look. I can see it on my uphold. I just won't do it on my tablet because I don't want anybody to see my stuff and get the information. 16, okay, so 0016, that sounds about right. I believe I'm going to confirm probably exactly that, what you're saying. Because I know we bought beautiful, it was a good time. I told everybody I'm buying Gala because of how cheap it was. I was watching it much more expensive when everybody kept telling me to buy it. And I said, I'll buy it when it's 90%. Well, I probably pissed people off, but that's what I did. That's what I do. Gala. We bought it at 01536. 01536. So, man, that was a good buy. That was a good buy. Wow. Some of them, when I look at what we actually bought some of the stuff for, I'm like, holy crap. You know, because it really was a good buy. Some of the stuff was really a good buy. And I'm proud of everybody who followed on the FOMO Fridays. And everybody who had the faith, you know, to at least take a shot. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to take a shot. It really is. It really is. But, you know, sometimes in life, the hardest thing to do is to actually pull the trigger when the time's actually right. I think we all can agree on that. I think we can all agree on that. But you got to have confidence. Sometimes it's all about your own confidence, that you see something, and even if somebody else is telling you that you're wrong, if you can see it out in front of you, don't be afraid to make a decision. That's what I always try to, that's my message all the time. Like, don't worry about what everybody else says. Like, if you firmly believe that something's going to happen, you got to stick to your guns. If you don't stick to them, nobody else will. And that's something I've learned the hard way and the good way doing this on my show. Literally, I've got to show that every single day. But yeah, it felt very cheap to buy. It was 10,000 tokens and it cost us like $150. Like, to me, if that's my decision, now for those 10,000 tokens, it'll cost you about $300. A little bit over. But it's simple decisions like that. Like, I'll never be mad even if it goes cheaper, because it was so cheap to buy it. I'll never be mad if it goes down. I'll never be mad just because it might have went down a little bit. That doesn't bother me. It's the, oh my God, I had the opportunity and I was too afraid to do it. That's what bothers me. If I've got something, as I call it, by the fortuitous nuts, by the balls, and I won't pull the trigger for some ungodly reason, I just can't pull the trigger, and I can see it's a good deal, like Gala, because maybe I thought it could go a little bit lower, I didn't pull the trigger at that price. And now we're looking at, I'd be sitting there like, what are you doing? Like, why wouldn't you have just bought it when you could see it was at the price? And this is something I used to do back in 2017 and 18. I'd see good deals, and what would stop me? The prospect of maybe it would go lower. Yeah, well, did I ever think of the fact that maybe it would go higher? No. But that's why I started to be more of, I have to understand the rotation. I'm not just going to sell it because it looks like a good price. I'm not going to buy it just because, it seems like, or I'm not going to buy it because it's going to go down more. If I think it's going to go up, if I honestly think it's going to go up, I got no problem buying it if it's in a perfect spot where I have money to the side and I can buy 20% more. 20% more. This time around, I really felt like we weren't going to have to keep buying it on the way down. Once we bought the how do I say it? The amount that we really wanted, that was going to be what actually made all the difference. All the difference. It wasn't about trying to pinpoint the exact buy. It was about, over time, not just teaching everybody in the community how to do it properly, but to take advantage of it when it was actually time. And I think we've done a fantastic job with that. And like, for me, I think that's what makes me the happiest. I don't know if anybody understands, but that's what makes me the happiest. That so many people had the trust and the faith. But anyhow, I know I'm overstaying my welcome here, but does that make sense? Does that make sense? But Gala right now, we are breaking out. We've broken out of what looked like a rising channel to the top side, so this is very bullish. And for Gala, let's see. There's not even really much here. You've got a resistance just about 4-cent area, so that's where we'd be targeting next. And really, you've broken out here again off of the breakout. We've broken out of this descending structure. And I mean, we're basically confirming this breakout. We've broken out of it. Like, you can see it. So if we're going to retest, you can see the proper retest areas. But we have broken out of this, and this stuff, you could have brought this all the way through so that everybody can see that was the descending structure. I just never carried it all the way through. I love algo. I bought 10,000 algo under 10 cents. 7,800 plus algo, just under 10 cents on FOMO Fridays. I love algo. I waited for a very long time to buy algo. Very long time. Somebody asked about ADA, and guys, I've answered a lot of questions here. Please feel free to send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army. Make sure you share this on social media. We've already got 156 likes, so please make sure you do that as well. But ADA, somebody asked. ADA is attempting a much bigger breakout here. If it can get over this 60 cents, and there's some room here, not only for 70, 65. I mean, fuck, that's where you're trying to get over. This first layer, then we bought Flare 10,000 tokens at like 0085, and then Gala 10,000 at 0015, whatever it said. I told you all what we were doing was nothing short of spectacular with our portfolios. And I told you wouldn't see it immediately, but in time, the reason why you would like my philosophy was because when you're up over time, you can buy over a 10-week stretch, $50 a week on some of these. Remember, 10 weeks at $50 a week to get your 10,000 tokens, and I did it with each and every one of you. And over time, it ended up working out to our favor, and now you're up 60, 70, 80% on all these we did. It's insane. So that's basically what I got, everybody. That's what I got. Algo, I know it's running. It's up 8.8%. We've already targeted the next move up to about 2160. It's been out there for a while, if we can continue on. But we'll continue this discussion at 6:30. Well, not 6:30, because I have to actually... It's going to be earlier tonight, only because I have to go to the immaculate thing at the church. I want to go to it. I have never been to it since I moved here. But I want to go to it because it's kind of a way to give thanks to Mother Mary. So I'm going to go to that at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Yeah, some people say, oh, your religion. You know what? I'm proud of my religion. I'm not telling anybody to go do it, but I'm allowed to speak up about it. So make sure you thank your Lord and Savior for this beautiful day. I know, Kyle, around 10 cents. Some of it was about 10.2 all the way down to like 9 cents. Remember what I said? Maybe even in the 8 something. I said at some point we're not going to be able to believe this. But I'll probably be on sometime after dinner around 6. And if I can only do a half hour, I can only do a half hour because I've got to be there by 7. I walk up there and it's about a 10 to 15 minute walk. So, but yeah, this is what's going on with Algo. So you can see how it bounced off beautifully. And then with XRP, we're just looking for that 65-cent close. That seems all but done here. All but done, as it looks to be printing another inverted hammer here. You know, so be proud of this. Be proud of this. Well, their activity's fallen off a cliff because the SEC came after them, remember. Hey, Jose, welcome in. Sup, coach? Yeah, I got my last football game on Friday. We're going to go for the perfect regular season of 5-0. We're the overwhelming favorite. The next best team only has 3 wins, although we have only 4. We're 4-0. There's 2 teams at 3-1. The rest are tied at 2-2 or worse. Only 4 out of the 8 teams make the playoffs, and right now we are solidly as a 1 seed. And the beautiful thing is the 4-win team, even if we lose, we already beat them. The rest of the teams only have, or the 3-win team, we beat both of them. So I don't expect us to lose, but even if we do, we've already secured the number 1 seed. So I think we're going to have a big chance, and I think it's all lining up for a possible first championship as a football coach. As you know, we were runner-up last year in the other team I coached. But it lines up for, it's on my birthday, December 17th, the playoffs. So a beautiful birthday present would be to come back and show you a championship trophy. But if we get second and just make it to the championship, I'd still be happy. No, I wouldn't. This year is a championship or bust, as they say. I got to be kind of easy on the kids because they're 6th graders, but man, have they taken to my philosophy with flying colors. It's a beautiful thing to see. Thank you so much, Andrew, for the $19.99 donation. First donation. Let's celebrate indeed. Thank you so much for taking that step and sending a donation to pay it forward. I really appreciate that. If anybody's still tuning in and you're trying to trade crypto and you can't figure it out, make sure to look in the video description below. It's got the exchanges that I use for lower spot fees and taking futures or spot trade. I don't put Uphold down there because of the high spot fees, but I have a few others that that I can promise you are lower spot fees, and the one you don't even need to do a KYC. The Eagles could use it. Yeah? Oh, what's my... Last season I was on the Raiders when we came in 2nd. This season I am on the... believe it or not, I am the... Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, I'm the Vikings this year. Last year I was the Raiders. This year I'm the Vikings. So we'll see what happens. You know, the NFL flag stuff that they do, the Madden League. So we're in a competitive league. It's just there might have been some unwarranted physical play that's happened the last few weeks. that had forced them to send me a message to the whole league, to the coaches, to warn their teams that any tackling, unnecessary roughness, and things like that are strictly prohibited. And not only would the player get ejected, but the whole teams can be warranted for an ejection now going into this last week and then the playoffs. So I got to tell my team, you better not tackle. Oh, this one is flag. This one is flag. Yep, this league is like what you would consider developmental football. These are kids that I decided to coach. Team reached out to me after my last season coaching and asked me if I was interested in coaching a 6th grade team that didn't have a coach, but they were going into middle school next year and they were trying to be developed into middle school football players. So they asked me if I'd be interested in coaching. I said yes, I would. It's close enough to my house to where I can do it, and the kids are doing really well. I wish we had a better quarterback, but like I said, it's developmental. The only reason we're winning is we're only allowing 4.6 points per game through the first 4 games. So that's pretty impressive, and that's less than a touchdown a game. We've had 2 shutouts this season already, so that's impressive. So I got to go, though, everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning into the live. Have a blessed afternoon. Hopefully I'll see you at, like 5:45, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern.